Just do it.
Oh, maybe not.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Touchgrass podcast. I'm James.
I'm Eric.
And this is...
My name is Adam Mendum.
You. Thanks for being here with us, Adam.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're
Thanks for
excited
having
to have
me.
us. Excited to have you. Yep, that'll...
I'm excited to have all of us, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hopefully
Thank
the
you.
rain comes soon, so we can...
Yeah, this does feel a little bit precarious.
Yeah, it's fine. My mic is waterproof. Shaking my head off camera.
SMDH.
Yes.
Shaking my damn head. Bussin'.
All right, so you just had a session.
Yeah.
How did it go? How do you feel about it?
I feel awkward.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly because of that lady.
Yeah, we
That
get
approach.
chewed a little bit.
That was interesting.
And then
She was
you
kind enough not to interrupt the recording, which was nice as well.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
I had a great time there. This is a really beautiful spot.
It is a really nice spot.
I would, if I lived close to here, I would just come and sit here and like write songs. I like to think maybe you guys do that.
Not in this particular park, but I've
Oh,
done that.
Yeah.
There are better
Many a
ones
time.
that you guys are shielding.
Many a time. No, ones...
Sort
no,
of.
there is not a better park than this. This park is amazing. I just have ones that are closer to my house or more meaningful to me.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, that's awesome. All right. So what led you to music? What led you to this moment, performing in front of us, weirdos?
Well, I've been musically inclined since I was like 2 or 3. Just like, not in like a genius way, just in a way where like I was interested in it. Like my dad would come close to my bedroom and could hear me like singing about my day, and that was kind of how he figured out like what I got up to that I didn't tell him. And then I was taught guitar by my uncle, who
Same.
was he's a big Hungarian guy, and he's very impatient. So we didn't do lessons together for very long. So that lasted about 6 months when I was 7, and then
Okay. I mean, 7-year-old's hard to teach.
true.
Goodness gracious.
I need to acknowledge my part in it. And then I started doing lessons at high school after just fiddling around alone for like a year. And then I just went back to fiddling around alone, and it kind of fizzled out. I went to uni, I started getting straight, and like I had to make money and get a degree and all that. And then I recently went on a trip to New Zealand, and I'm terrified of flying.
Okay.
So this is where the music, how we get to now, is that we had some turbulence on the way in. I had brought my guitar with me to like just, I don't know, mess around, and I realized that like, as unlikely as it is, I could just like die, and it would have been a waste to pursue a financially secure future for me if that happened. And I like music no less than I did when I was 3 in my room singing about my day than I do now. So I just decided I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome. And what does give it a go mean? What does that look like for you?
Share it with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So that big life-changing event, that wasn't really a life-changing event. It was a change in mentality.
Yeah. It was just a focus. I had always had in the back of my head that I would give music a go.
Okay.
And I just grew older and time got longer, and then I just realized that I wasn't doing it, and I was going to be like 40 or 50 by the time I got around to that. And who knows how many ideas for songs and things could have flown by me had I not done that. So and when I say share with as many people as possible, I do tend more towards the live aspect. Like I want to be in those rooms where there are people who genuinely want to listen to what I have to say. Getting streams and stuff is cool, but I would ideally just like to play in as many different places as I can.
Okay, so what is it about live that leads you wanting to do more of that? Something else?
It's the immediate feedback that you get in connecting to someone with your music.
So what they say to you, or?
It's not even just, it's many things. It includes like what their faces look like, if they know your lyrics, or if they come up to you after the show, like, oh, I had this experience and this resonated with me for this. Like, I feel like with live streaming, you don't always have that privilege, I assume. I don't speak from someone who has a live streaming
so
experience.
Like the energy of the people and the crowd, and
you get to feel it immediately, and I really like that.
Yep.
And I want to do that in as many places with as many people as I can.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of performers feel that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That's why they love doing it.
Yeah.
Just that and the attention, right? Yeah, okay, that's cool. So what did it feel like? Have you done any recording before? Have you done...
I've done voice memos and stuff like a while ago. But I only recently just got into a studio for the first time, like last month. Like, as I was telling you, like my guitar teacher has one, and he's just been like showing me all the different stuff you can do before we immediately go into being like, okay, we're now going to record this song and it's going to sound like this, and then we're going to release it. His thing is like, I will teach you what I know, and we can do what you want.
That's cool. Yeah.
You don't have to release anything. You can just have really awesome demos. But I want to learn about it because it's part of the craft. And if I don't know anything about producing, my hands are not on the work by the time it gets to the listener. And I want to know the language. I want to know what I'm talking about. I want to influence that, and I want to get as close to the end as I can.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I get that. No, it does.
Yeah.
I feel very much the same. That it's like, if I'm not involved in it, it feels weird. So not that there's any discredit to people that are artists that write the songs and then completely work with a producer.
For sure.
That's totally cool. But people, like, I don't think Eric's, you work differently again, but we're hands-on, right? That, if we can do it ourselves, we'll try and do it ourselves to some degree. Which, I completely get that. It's cool insight. So what does your writing process look like? How does the song get made?
It's so weird. It can start from a few different places. Sometimes I just carry my little leather book around with me. Okay. And I just like write things that I draw stimuli from, like I look a lot. So I'll often be in public, like at a bar, or I'll be like on the train, and I look at something and it makes me think, and then I write about it, and I end up with this like volume of just rabbling, and then one day I'll be mucking around with a guitar, and I'll find some chords I like, and they'll make me feel a certain way, and then I'll try and find my scribblings that kind of matched up with that feeling, and then it's just a process of, I don't know, just playing the chords and over and trying different words that make me feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, I've been known to cry when writing some songs.
Yep.
And I feel like that's like a good indicator for me, because that means that it is
the emotion, right?
Yeah, it's serving like as the release that I get from music.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's like working. It's doing its job. Yeah. For me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So tell us about the songs.
The songs that I played for you today.
You did 3.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the first one?
The first one was called First Light. All of these songs have been named in the past month.
Yeah. Okay. What prompted that?
Just the sheer frequency of open mic performances and gigs where I'd just be like, and here is this song. Yeah. Doesn't have a name yet. And you can just see people going, oh, what? Yeah. And then you even get suggestions for names as well. And you just think, okay, I think it's about time. So First Light is about coming out of, and I wouldn't say like cleanly coming out, but it is about coming out of depression that was fueled by COVID. I tanked in COVID like hard. I lived with 2 immunocompromised parents, my mum and my stepdad, when it first happened, and I was like one of the first among my peers to hear about it. Just because I was like looking at Reddit quite frequently at that time, and I heard about this thing happening, and I was just immediately like, okay, this is bad. If my mum or stepdad get this, like, how can I live with myself? I don't know what the results will be. And I was living, like, you know, about an hour out of the city, and, you know, I was commuting every day to get to uni and so to socialize. And then, like, I just couldn't do that anymore. Lockdowns happened, and my sleep schedule went from, like, you know, midnight till 9 a.m. to 7 a.m. sleep at some nights to, like, some mornings to 3 p.m. wake up. Okay. And, like, that was a lifestyle that I had for, like, a year or more than, like, you know, many people were having, you know, we had breaks in between the lockdowns where we could do things, but I knew that COVID was still a thing. And I knew that even if you were vaccinated, you could still catch it if you were unlucky. So I just couldn't, like, consciously go out and do something like that to them when they were supporting me in that way. So yeah, I had a really rough time mentally, and
but you were still doing music at the time, or?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
Not really. So I was just wasting time. Like, I tried to study twice remotely. Yeah. I deferred both times because I just couldn't cope. Sorry?
What did you study?
So at that time, I was studying computer science. And I was, like, approaching, like, the second year subjects. And it was just, like, I've found uni difficult enough, very, very challenging, and I've not had an issue with that until the environment to, you know, try and beat that challenge had changed so much. I was used to libraries, I was used to friends, I was used to talking about my subjects, and then all of that disappeared.
Yeah, right.
And then, I just, you know, I lost time in the same ways that many of us did, which is just like Netflix or gaming or, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot of us felt guilty for that too, right? It's like, why aren't we being productive? But it's screwed up. So how did you write that song about that experience? How much later was the song written?
It connects to the song where my partner entered my life. Her name's Madeline. We've been dating for 3.5 years now. Okay. And she pushed me to go to counselling, and I did it. This is about a year ago. I started counselling, and, you know, I was starting to become more social now, like, at that point. And I was just driving home from my counselling session one day. Like, it was a great feeling to be, like, talking to someone about those things. And I just, like, I was this nocturnal, sad individual driving home at 2 p.m, a time where I wouldn't ordinarily be out of the house, sometimes even awake. And I could just feel the sun on my skin as I was driving, and it felt great. That's awesome. It was just this moment of, like the world is actually lovely. And I had this moment where I realized, like, I'm actually climbing out right now. And it's a great feeling. And it was only a 15-minute drive, but it was actually such a serene, non-stressful drive. So the song is about coming out of that and how it feels.
Yeah, that's cool. So that moment prompted you to write it, or did the writing come about just through you doing music again? Just a moment that was important to you?
So this is before I started taking music seriously, but this was one of those times where I would end up rambling in a notebook.
Yeah, okay.
So I hit some chords, and then I found that, and I said, oh, this song feels like it's about coming out of a dark time.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, that's really cool. So what about the next song? What's the second song?
The next song was called Madeline. That's about my partner, obviously. It's a bit of a sad song. It's about when your partner is struggling with something, and you feel for them, and they tell you that they're fine, and you can see that they're not. And it's a call to action in many ways. Be like, please, like...
like, well, she got you to go to counselling and stuff, so...
Yeah. She's actually going to counselling now too.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. Best decision you can make.
Yeah. She's been more than me though. Like she was.
I figured if she was prompting you,
she was the one who was like, "Hey, yeah." She's like, "Hey, this stuff's good. Believe me." And I was like, "Okay, I believe you." Yeah. Eventually, I said, "Okay, I believe you." I was never in denial about it, but I just put it off. It's just like, "Oh no, next week."
Yeah.
Like
I'm not that bad.
Look what I did last week. Do you see? Right. I'm getting better. And she's like, no, you should probably go. And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
Very relatable.
Yeah,
definitely. What about the third song?
The third song is about no one in particular.
Okay.
It's just a feeling of. I like to write about old feelings a lot too, because sometimes you don't process them until later. The song is called "You'll Be Mine," and it's about so many times in my like teenage years where I was obsessed with someone, and they give you this like glimmer of hope, you know. And some people do that because they feel bad for you or other. And I just had blind faith for not so many, but a few people who I just believed I would end up with. And I was just like, I believe in this. Like we can, we'll date one day. And they're like, oh, maybe. And then it kind of ends with me kind of going, look, well, why was I an idiot? Why did I believe that you would be mine? Like, you didn't actually give me a concrete signal that you would. So, yeah, it's a sad romance song about my younger self.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
But it's interesting, like, with some of them, like, how once you write a song about that thing that might be in your past, you sew it up a lot tighter, you know? Like, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Even like from 10 years ago. It's weird. Yeah.
So how would you explain, jumping a little bit, not massively, but how would you explain your musical style?
Oh God.
Maybe it's easier to ask who your influences are.
Yeah. I'll answer the question as best I can. The first one. I like to learn new things and find new things as I go. Like only just started learning about like what modulating is and like how to change key and stuff like that. So it's very much my like self-indulgent thing where you find a new thing and go, oh, this is really cool, and then you use it and you're like, oh yeah, it's like it's explorative. Yeah. Of course, like, as far as influences go, like, it's not in any way experimental. It's really hard. I've been listening recently a lot to artists like Gregory Alan Isakov, Angie McMahon, a few things by Villagers. I love Hosier. I often play Cherry Wine by him at open mics just because it's a beautiful song.
It is a great song.
It feels good to just play.
It's weird to call him pop, but he is.
Yeah. I guess that's as of late, but you'll probably find like in the First Light song there's a few like emo chords at the start, and that's because I had an emo phase.
It's not a phase, Mom.
No.
I'm still in that.
It's definitely in there. And I was like super into like Parkway Drive, which is the metal, obviously.
Yeah.
I loved Green Day when I was 13. And then I got into bands like Silverstein, Avenged Sevenfold. But yeah, like I was learning all of their songs and learning those chords and being like, oh, that sounds cool. So like, you know, like the augmented chord is in like some Avenged Sevenfold chords, and then other songs rather, and then there's like, and I'm using language to describe stuff I don't necessarily understand here, but diminished chords I know sound like they're in emo music a lot, I'm assuming. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear those influences, but I definitely feel that they feel me.
Yeah, that's cool. If it's influenced you, some influence. I think. No, that's cool. Do you reckon kids these days will have emo phases?
I hope so.
I think
music
they
still
are.
exists,
like, because Olivia Rodrigo, and Demi Lovato and all those ones slipped in punk for a little bit. MGK can't pick a lane.
Come on, man, pick a lane.
Well, you don't have to at all.
I know,
but
I'm
like,
just being silly.
no, I know. I'm yes-ending.
I feel like kids...
Let's move on. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I feel like younger people are often rediscovering things that like the elder emos are like, yes.
That's true.
And it's like, this is just the Nightcore version of this song that I grew up with.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's like Triple M now plays like Green Day and Blink-182, and it's this was classic. Oh my god, this is classic rock.
Millennial dad rock is all that stuff. Man.
Yeah,
that's what I've been calling it.
And we're all gonna have to be dads now.
Oh my lord, it's
Jesus.
terrifying.
I mean, you are a dad, Eric.
Yeah,
but, oh man, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I heard a song by Green Day on Gold 104.
Yeah,
holy shit!
But it was
Good riddance.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of like...
Yeah, but it's old enough to be on Gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm used to it being like 70s songs and like, the Police and stuff like that.
How deep is your love?
Well, I still think of like Elvis and...
Oh my god.
It's like Gold.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like
maybe I'm
too
thinking of
new
Smooth.
Maybe Smooth.
Oh yeah, that
Michael
sounds...
Bublé.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, Gold is... Or like Hunters and Collectors or any of the Australian stuff.
Hoodoo
Jimmy
Guru?
Barnes.
Cold Chisel.
Cold Chisel, yeah. I was thinking something Blade. Not that it was called Blade, but I knew it's like something.
Blade Trinity, with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like a knife. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird to think about. Yeah, the nostalgia of everything.
Yeah.
How much is driven by that these days, hey?
Yeah, and the mediums are different as well.
The mediums are different? You mean like streaming and stuff? Or?
Yeah, just like the way in which like songs are organically picked up via scrolling and trends that other people are redoing. It's interesting.
Yeah, I heard. Now, it's like, people got pissed off at like Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. No, you didn't find these organically. They were in the movie. How dare you like them now?
Yeah.
And it's like, are you serious?
Gatekeeping, that's a massive thing, man.
Like, why?
It's a good song. Let's all enjoy it.
Yeah, like, those songs got popular again because, this opened the door to so many... Yeah, anyway. But pop music is 100%, like, I don't... pop... I said that like it sounds like a dirty word. I don't think it's a dirty word. I just struggle with it. But it's becoming smaller and smaller every time.
Yeah.
All the songs sound the same, and I still think about why now. Like, you think Police, right? You brought them up earlier. They're like, they were pop music.
Yeah.
But they use fucking diminished chords and different keys, and like his note choice in his melodies is like he hits the 7th note of the scale, or like uncomfortable and like weird, and used crazy weird intervals and stuff. He just chose strangely.
Yeah.
But it's like this was hugely popular. And now it's like we're lucky to have 5 chords in a song.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like not re-recordings, reimaginings.
Yeah.
The Weeknd did one, I can't remember what song. It was an R&B song, but it's all the same all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was the purpose of this other than to give you something to do?
Yeah, or to jump on a bit of a train.
It feels like, there's not a lot of originality in that.
John redid Rocket Man with Dua Lipa, and it's like...
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
It feels good.
It plays at work a lot,
and
but...
Yeah, I don't know. Pop music's meant to feel
doesn't
good,
have
but
the Rocket Man. Like,
that's the best part. That's the best part.
Yeah.
There was a really good one I heard, though. You remember that song, Tipsy? Everybody in the club get tipsy.
Yeah.
They've done a country version of that. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Yeah, but that's a different song, though, isn't it?
No. I'm pretty sure it's like lyrically and everything the same. They've just rewritten it to be a country song. It's good. It goes. Yeah. I like it.
No, I like that song too.
But
I've heard it. I like it. But for me, even country, like I'm trying to move into that country sector.
Yeah.
And it's like most of the artists that are massive, it just sounds like pop music but with country like instruments.
Yeah, and then there's that guy that gets AI to write country songs about.
Yeah.
There's a snake in my boots and stuff.
It was like country sleeve or country pocket or something. It was like a man's ass.
Yeah, nature's pocket or whatever.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh. This reminds me of Ram Ranch.
Ram Ranch. Oh, that sounds familiar.
It sounds dangerous.
It's a song.
That sounds like.
It's a country song. Look it up.
Okay.
It's explicit. It's very explicit. No, it's written by humans.
Yeah, but the one I was talking about was AI. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, okay, I don't know. Yeah, humans can write this shit. But anyway, question. How do you feel about AI music?
A good question. I don't know. I like to think it doesn't have a chance. I like to think that people care about, listening to a human being and their feelings.
Yeah.
No one's going to, at least I'm not going to connect to the feelings of a robot.
Mm.
A lot of people don't care about connecting to music in that way. So maybe we might lose those people. But I personally am not looking to play for people like that. And that's okay. Like, I'm sure they're great people, but I want to play with people who can resonate with my emotions.
Yes.
And the people who are going to resonate my emotions are likely to be people who are looking for emotion in music to resonate with.
Yeah.
So I'm not overly, upset or
that's fair.
Yeah.
Crazy though, because Kiss and I think Queen did this as well. They sold their whole catalog to a company for millions of dollars. And then they're going to use AI to write new Kiss songs and write new Queen songs.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think that's the biggest.
That's weird.
It's not. Yeah, it is. And part of me thinks it should just be done, right? But then at the same time, Kiss, whatever their army or whatever they are, will love new Kiss songs. And so it's is it Kiss? It's like.
I feel like the fact that it's breaching that space of making music by dead people treads ground that people might be offended by.
Yeah,
Freddie Mercury, for example, right. People would be like, that's not in his memory, that's an insult.
But then they've toured with Adam Lambert and a couple of other singers, and they still do that now. And they're like, yep, for Freddie, and it's so it's just everybody's a different opinion,
Yeah, totally.
He's been quoted as saying, cut my music up, remix it, reimagine it, just don't make me boring.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's very
He's
true.
been credited with saying that.
Yeah.
Whether he did or not, I don't know.
I would imagine it could be something he said.
He probably maybe didn't even think AI would be a thing. That a robot would be viewing his works and making new ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm not immediately insulted by the idea. It does depend on the person, of course. But I can see people getting riled up about that.
Yeah.
And large opposition to it.
For sure.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't get to a stage where it's you can't tell.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like it will.
Maybe not in our lifetime, but I 100% know it will.
Yeah.
Well, it's a booming industry, right? Like pop music. It has its big players.
Made for it to not be worked. And that's the thing that scares me. Yeah. Because the thing about AI music is the AI doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
So whoever invests in it gets all the money.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it's like Spotify making their own songs and then releasing it under artists and then getting streams on those songs. And they're just self-serving, and yet they pay artists 1/3 of a cent.
Yeah.
And it's are you serious?
Yeah. What about using AI as stimulus for songwriting?
I have no problem with that.
That's kind of what, we were talking to Claudia about it. I've always wanted to be able to jam with myself.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I wish I could clone myself. But thinking about AI, I could get a program. In theory, I don't know anything about AI, but if I could get a program, just upload everything I've ever created, demos and shit like that.
Yeah.
Get it to learn from that, and then be like, all right, you're on drums, I'm on guitar, let's go. And then write songs that way.
I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be my only use for AI, I believe. I've dabbled with AI art and made some cool little pictures, but then it all blew up. I haven't used any of it, but they look cool. There's some funny ones I made. Cows in a field, but the cows are pianos.
That's cool. I want to see that.
I've got them on my phone, but yeah.
What program did you use for that?
Canva.
Oh, Canva has an
Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that.
But it just looks so funny, and it's I'll paint this myself so that I can feel happy putting it on the wall, or I'll paint an idea like this. But then I've learnt from AI to make a thing. So
which is directly, indirectly coming from a human.
Yeah, and who? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
but
then that's the whole other thing. All right, well, let's steer the ship a little bit here.
Sure.
So, what are your plans for music moving forward? We've talked about how you got here and you're taking musically more serious.
Yeah.
So you want to play in front of people as much as possible. So what does that look like now? What is your goals?
Right now, that just means getting gigs at places like bigger and bigger venues. Mm-hmm. I'm supporting Stephen Heath of 100 Moods at the Thornbury Local.
That's awesome.
At the end of the month. On the 31st. I don't know if this will be put out before or after the 31st.
This will be after that. But
so
still,
it was great seeing you all there. I hope you had a great time. Just trying to get bigger and bigger gigs. I'm now like dipping my toes into the water of interacting with venue bookers. And, like how to send out an email like that. What they need to see. Like I'm just trying to be a sponge and learn as much of that as I can.
What's been your experience though? It's quite early days.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've been rejected by one venue because I wasn't to their style, which I think is fair. Because like they always have, like you've heard my music, they always have very energetic bands. And I've had good experiences also. So hoping to get a gig done at Edinburgh Castle in Brunswick, which would be cool.
Oh yeah. I think I've heard.
Just starting to get to the point where I'm lucky enough to have people who want to come see me and just trying to figure out the particulars of getting those people into the right sized room and then just organically growing that. I've seen people doing like just tours of like New Zealand or just like the east coast of Australia.
Small tours, yeah.
Like
something we've talked about.
And that is like, big goal for me. I would love to do that. And it doesn't seem like if you're willing to put in the work, it seems like it's possible.
Yeah, myself and a couple other people tried to do sort of through Bright up to Albury.
Oh, cool.
We only got about halfway. The Albury venues never got back to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went and stayed down in Harrietville, played the show, had dinner, stayed at the place. We ended up jamming with some other people that were there, and then we got kicked out because it was too loud. So we all went down to the park.
What?
Like 11 o'clock at night, midnight, just playing in this big gazebo. I think I have a video somewhere.
That's awesome. And
then walking back, we found some other people walking home, and we jammed some stuff.
What was the weather
really
like
cool
that night?
It was during summer, so it was pretty warm.
Beautiful.
It was great.
You gotta aim for that, hey?
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah.
But it's doable. You just gotta do it.
Yeah. I want to release at least one song by the end of the year. I set that goal for myself in I think December last year, or Jan this year, December last year. I set a goal that I would do a gig with my name on it by June. I think that happened.
Yeah.
I think technically my name was on there. And then end of the year, one song, put it on Spotify, have something to point people towards.
Yeah.
I don't have that, I just go, oh, this is my name, this is who I am on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the constant battle, right? Content.
There's no immortalized like music for them to listen to yet.
Yeah. That's a big thing for me. That's why I put mostly just demos up on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Because like in my head, like to get it on Spotify, it's got to be a certain caliber, right? It's got to sound radio ready.
Yeah.
And I record all my own stuff, so it doesn't sound like that. So I just put it on Bandcamp or SoundCloud. Here it is, if you want to. Like,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe I should do that.
I don't know if I 100% agree. Obviously, it's just an opinion.
With the Spotify.
Yeah, I definitely think it's healthy having stuff out there, whether it's at a standard or not. But if you're taking it seriously and you want to be an artist, and that means you'll have fans, and those fans see you as a certain thing. So if you try and rebrand, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something, pick a vein a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you can branch out and you can change, but it becomes harder if they're like. So for me, I'm a country trying to be a country artist, and then I'm like, nah, actually, I really want to do like dance or something else. You basically have to start again because your fans aren't going to necessarily follow you. But then having everything out there, I don't know, if you're willing to put it out there, why not put it on Spotify?
It's for me as well. I don't manage my own Spotify. I have 2 songs that were uploaded by Sam. He runs that.
Okay, no, that's.
I don't know how. I remember one of my friends came to me and was like, "Hey, I want to get my song on Spotify. I can see you've got 2 up there. How did you do that?" And I was like, "I didn't." So like, it's just so much easier to. I can upload from my voice memos on my phone to SoundCloud and make a playlist. And hey, this is a little EP that I slapped together.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with that. I'm like, that's cool.
I think it served you to have stuff out there for sure, having that presence.
Yeah.
I guess if you're trying to book gigs, having like SoundCloud, like this is what you should expect, and it's accessible via link, is good.
Definitely,
especially like full songs as well.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have access to good production quality, like you wait until then for Spotify or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I'm thinking about it in my like very new to the.
Yeah, I try not to. I won't record this song until I can do it right. Because then, like, I know me, and I probably will never get around to doing it right. Whereas I can sit at the drums now and plug in my condenser and get a drum track, and then dick around with it and make it sound good enough.
So you're not getting in your own way, like you are a little bit, but I mean, you're still not stopping yourself from recording the thing at what you've got now. Yeah,
this is the box I'm in. This is what is currently directly around me that I have access to, that I can get done right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that Touch Grass should be emphasizing as well. It's like, do what you can.
Do what you can with what you have.
There's no right time. Because for me, like, I agree with I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing it right, but then I'm still writing, like, all the time. So I don't, like, you have back catalogue, and that is important as well, because you can draw on it, but usually it'll be reshaped or retooled or,
Like you were saying, writing on old stuff. Like, that's what I've been doing lately as well. I've got 10-year-old songs, riffs that I'm like, that sounds like this.
Cool.
Play it, sing something, like... Yeah. Because I haven't been able to write anything new that I'm happy to work on. But old ideas, I'm like, where did this even come from?
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you ever feel like the younger version of yourself was like super fucking talented and you're just blown away?
Yeah.
And you're just like, how the hell do I do that now?
Yes.
I haven't had that thought. I've had the thought that it's like, why didn't I realize I could do this earlier?
Yeah.
I've had that thought.
Totally.
Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? I came up with this then. I should have been able to hold on
old
to this
you
sooner.
could have done it.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of gigs that I actually did get out and play when I was 19, 20, 21. It's like, how the hell did I get a gig at Rev's band room? Like, where did that even come from? And I have no footage of it.
Was that the one where like, bring as many amps and guitars as you can? We want to look as big and professional. He doesn't think that we deserve this.
See? Old me had the hustle. What's going on, man?
Like, nah, man. There's 4 of us. We can fucking do this.
Yeah, we had like 4 guitars.
No, we had like 6, because I bought 3.
Okay.
You told me to bring all of them.
Yeah, okay. Did you even play them all?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your favourite gig you've played? What was the gig that you had your name on?
My favourite gig I've played was at the Bergie with Megan Kennedy. It was beautiful. So I met Megan at an open mic at the Thornbury Local. She came up to me and she asked me, like, have you ever, like, are you gigging? I said, no. And she said, okay, well, that's not quite right. And then we exchanged contact details. And then she said, do you want to do a gig together? I said, yeah, I'd love to. And she just, she contacted the venue. She got the gig organised. I created the event. And then, my family and friends from... Because I kind of have like a post getting into music group of people and a pre.
Yes. And
like, people at open mics and stuff know me as Adam, the music guy. And then before that, they know me as like for my like uni phase and stuff like that. And maybe I'm a bit creative, but like they haven't seen me sing. They haven't seen me play guitar or anything like that. And so that gig was just this really interesting clashing of worlds where every time I looked up after the end of a song, it was just filled with familiar faces from like my whole life. And very lucky to be able to fill a room of people that I care about in that way. And the sound was beautiful as well. I think his name was Sam on sound.
At the Burgie?
At the front bar. There's that little like cage room.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got your own little booth where like the sound is just bouncing around in you and you can hear everything. And then like the crowd was so quiet because it's not like a bunch of people who don't know me and they're here for a drink. Like they're all here to see me. And it's like, oh, what is this Adam guy about? And like I remember like I could hear drinks being purchased even though the room was completely full. Like you could hear like the beep. And apparently like the bartender was like placing glasses very quietly on the bench so that it wouldn't disturb. It was so intimate. So intimate. I even shed a tear in front of the crowd when there's a song I have about my mum. She's immunocompromised because she has like a disability. And it's about that. And I just felt safe and vulnerable enough where I could just like I don't have my glasses today, but could take my glasses off for a moment and just like let that pass. And it was like a really great crowd, understanding crowd to do that in front of.
That's awesome.
And I learned a lot through that gig because Megan was showing me all, the emails that you should be sending to a venue and like what she sends. She did not have to do any of that. Like she did not have to teach me anything. She didn't owe me anything. And she just did it. And it's great. And I feel like it's
What are the core things you learned? Like what if you don't feel you have to share? But
of course.
This is a space we want to be able to do that for too. So a couple of points on what were the biggest things you learned
through that gig.
Yeah, through what you should talk to about venues and
send
to venues and stuff.
Totally. You need to have things easily accessible via link. Like the person who's reading your email can't just like, if they have to look you up somewhere, then you're already losing their attention. I've learnt that it can optionally be good to have a music CV that has like a list of what you've done. I don't have anywhere near the experience to be able to have something like that.
Yeah, but it's still interesting. Yeah,
it could be good one day. Go to the venue that you're going to play at before you contact them if you really want it. I found is very good.
Yeah, okay.
And because then at least you can say like, hey, I was here. I really liked this place. I'd love to play for you. Rather than, oh, I found you on Google Maps. Here's my stuff that I've copy pasted to 10 other people in the area. It's like
personalized, right?
And like I've sent an email where I didn't go to the venue and I could just tell immediately that that's how I was coming off. And I don't expect to hear back from them. And that's okay. I wouldn't get back to me either. Now that I think about it. I think that's about all I've learned.
No. That's a lot. Like it's hard to know.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the link thing until, like, that's what I've been doing lately. Is just sending my Bandcamp.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't.
EPK, right?
This is my name, and you can find me on Instagram. Type it in. Like,
that's so much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's Instagram videos rather than songs.
I started because like everybody needs a landing page, right? That's massive in the music thing. And I was like, I'm not happy with my free Linktree one. It's all right. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked at how much it's going to cost to get a pro one. It's like $15 a month, which is not a lot, right? But then there's other services that do a lot more than Linktree do for that price.
Yeah.
And so I have a website that was very basic because I wanted to be an artist. You wanted something, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can just build my own landing page on Wix, which is my website.
Yeah.
And then I paid for the domain already, and that didn't cost me anything else. It's like, so yeah, I think, but not everybody has that do-it-yourself mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it seems like it's a good thing also to not want to do everything yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
Eventually, it seems like time becomes a very important resource, especially if you're like, if you have a profession in your day-to-day that isn't music, like time is of the essence.
Yeah, you're speaking
to that. Another thing that I learned about gigs is it's really easy to play for people I don't know.
Okay. It's harder to play for people you do.
If I do know them, then I know that I'm going to interact with them again and talk about my music, and I'm going to hear about it.
So it's not necessarily how they react, it's your perception of what...
Oh, totally.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, it's 10 times more important when I like know them.
Yeah.
And they're like here because they know me. It's just like that. The pressure just goes up tenfold, whereas a group of strangers... you can walk out.
When
I'm on that stage, I can go, I'm never going to see these people again.
Yeah, yeah.
I can say something stupid. I can say a joke that's not funny, and I'm fine with that. I'm just going to have a few beers and write it off.
Completely the opposite. I'm
really
realizing, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not the opposite, but we went to church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot. And so I really cut my teeth there, and I worship-led a lot. I'm not really involved in that scene now. But, yeah, it was massive for me. And then being like, I've stopped a whole congregation of like 1,000 people and be like, hang on, we did that wrong. We've got to start again. And so it's sort of like, I'm not the opposite. I'm not like, I wouldn't prefer to play for people I know, but I'm also like,
Yeah.
I'm so much more comfortable when I know the people in the crowd for some reason. Because I can interact with them and just like...
They obviously know you as a musician, Eric.
Like a safe space, right?
True,
like you know how to be with them. You don't know how to be with new people. Is that what you're saying?
Probably, yeah. Like, they might not like the real me, so I got to mask and be like, I'm the music guy, but I don't believe that, you know? I'm just some dude with a guitar.
Aren't we all?
That's every music person, though. I'm just some dude with a guitar. Well, obviously not pianists or drummers, but, you know.
It's psychologically very interesting because I feel like you've got two opposing things where it's like, for one, on a drum kit, intuitively, you kind of get to sit behind this little wall. But by contrast, like, you're the biggest sound in the room as well.
Yeah.
Whereas a guitar can hide behind things a lot easier, particularly if there's like more than one. You can be like, maybe I fucked it up, but there's distortion, so...
It's fine, yeah.
Like, that's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's like a solo artist. But
Yeah.
I feel no, like all of us have performed solo. We all know, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you have nowhere to hide. But then I still feel uncomfortable without a guitar in my hands.
Yeah, same. I still get to hide behind that little percentage of my body that's covered
And I feel
by
like I
the
have
guitar.
more control for what... I can't believe I just said that. But, like, I can influence what I'm playing. If I'm singing, if they change something and I'm like, I can't change that unless I turn around and tell them.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing, I can be like, no, it's actually like that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, have that semblance of control.
I feel like my memory of all of my lyrics is so heavily intertwined with what my hands are doing that my hands remind me of what the song is about.
100%.
It's so weird to me.
No, that makes complete sense to me.
I don't think I could sit here and sing a song for you without my guitar.
Yeah, okay. It's
Yeah.
definitely, like, the songs that I know the best, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how this goes, because it's like one thing leads to the next, And if the guitar's not there, you don't have that next thing. So it's like, wait, well, how does
No
the
bridge.
verse go? Like,
Pun intended. Yeah, right.
What's your experience like when you perform? And I'll tell you why I asked this. For
Okay.
me, it's very muscle memory. And sometimes, like, particularly when Eric and I play, we play songs that we have played together for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'll give you an example. Taylor by Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
The first verse, I memorize, like, I know the whole song off by heart, but that first verse, I don't even think about it. And I'm, like, reading signs and, like... Whoa, what drink
busking
am I
and
gonna
stuff.
have?
Yeah.
Or like genuinely thinking about other things while I'm singing and playing because we've played it so many times.
Like when you're driving home from work and you
Yeah, and
just,
then you're like,
how did I get here?
How did I get here? Like,
What was the last 10
genuinely that
minutes?
happens.
Yeah.
So somebody who's performed, what's your experience? Are you thinking about everything all the time, or you just...
I tend to think of a lot of things at the same time. Like while I'm telling someone something, like I might be thinking about something completely different.
Yep.
Okay. When I perform, and I think I need to improve upon this, I don't look at people.
Yeah.
I look at my guitar, and it probably looks like my eyes are closed from, you know. And it's just a very vocal internal dialogue with myself, like in English, that I have when I'm playing, and I'm going, oh, okay, I should probably do this. It's like, it's kind of like... It's like someone, like in some jobs, you have to like be very observant and adjust little things as you go. It's like I'm a cook or something, and it's just like oh, there's a little bit too much heat here, or like, oh, I should probably add in a little bit of this. Like, it's this like balancing act, and I'm just kind of in my head thinking of different things to add in. It's like, oh, more air here, or like more projection here, or like improve your posture here so that you can get this note out, or like the big solos coming, so like look at the guitar and make sure that you're like seeing where the frets are. Like it's I don't know, I feel like a bit of a I don't know.
No, it makes sense. I think a lot of us think like that.
Yeah.
I think, like, I have moments of that for sure.
But it's the best when you stop thinking about that and you just feel the song.
Yeah.
That does happen.
I also, yeah.
I love that.
No.
Like, that is my favourite feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, I completely agree. I think thinking about dynamics and not thinking about, like, thinking about the performance of it, not this chord,
the technicality of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I know this well enough to just play this. How am I going to present it to people?
It's even, for me, like, it's when that stuff becomes autopiloted and you're not worrying about it. Like, it's just done automatically and it leaves your mind, and then you're just kind of reflecting back on the feelings that you had when you wrote the song, and then you're getting those out to the audience.
Yeah.
It's like your
catharsis?
Yeah, it is cathartic, but it's kind of like you're opening the waterway, and you're unconstricting the emotion, and it's kind of coming through much more clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like opening a tap, it's just like, it's a release of the emotion, and like that like that's happened a few times during gigs, but not every time.
No, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Bar Open was the one where it did happen, and then like there was once at Jimmy Hornet I was playing by myself, and I heard the guy. I was singing, playing guitar, and I heard a guy towards the end of one of my songs, something like, if he keeps singing like that, he's going to thrash his voice or break his voice or something.
Oh, no.
I was like, cool. But yeah, Bar Open, I was on drums, and you guys were all in front of me. I get that feeling a lot more when I'm on the drums.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you feel better connected to the drums then?
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Drums are the most important part to a lot of my songs. To me, like...
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it did.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
For sure, it's just interesting to see how people process those things.
Yeah.
From different perspectives.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell that you think of it, but quite differently to me.
Yeah, I think it depends on the song, because I do a lot of covers as well, like working musician. So, but when I do my own stuff, it is more, it's closer to you.
Makes sense.
But I'm still thinking about, okay, this bit, is this emotion? Should it be quieter? Should it be louder? Should it be, like, that's how I process things.
Yeah.
It's just, it's interesting.
That makes sense. There's only one. There were two kookaburras on that branch there, and I was just waiting for them to just like open up and just start chiming into this podcast. Like,
and how do you guys perform?
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. This was
magical.
This was so fucking sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This is
Good luck with everything. I'm sure we'll keep in touch. And
awesome.
Cheers. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
For listening, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Touchgrass podcast. If you haven't already, go check out our YouTube channel, Touchgrass Sessions, where you'll be able to watch Adam's performance. Also, if there's an artist you'd like to hear from, head over to our Instagram, touchgrass.sessions, and send us a message. While you're there, you can see which artist will be featured in our next episode.